Hello, you're with IndiaPostLive.com, India's first web TV conversation portal. Polling is on in Srinagar today, even as we speak. While the National Conference has been very vocal in its anti-Modi sentiments, the PDP seems to be strangely keeping quiet. Let's take a quick look.
BJP's Narendra Modi remains a polarizing figure in this election. But what is making it different for him in the state of Jammu and Kashmir? The ruling National Conference is all guns blazing on the BJP and Modi. Social media too is a fertile ground for mudslinging between CM Omar Abdullah and BJP, from Modi baiters being sent to Pakistan to the plight of Kashmiri Pandits. But Mufti Saeed-led PDP remains a mute spectator against the Modi tirade. Interestingly, Mufti has often praised former PM Atal Bihari Vajpayee, especially for his peace initiatives on Pakistan and Kashmir. But Modi is a different ball game. He still carries the burden of 2002 Godhra riots in the eyes of many. Then what can explain this soft attitude towards Modi?
All right. So polling is on in Srinagar, and we are here to discuss what PDP's stand is and what PDP's stand really could be on the Modi factor. Joining me in the studio is Manzoor Ahmed. Manzoor Ahmed is the editor of the World Urdu Service, a very senior journalist. Manzoor Sahab, thank you so much for joining us on the conversation. I have Asha Khosaji, again a senior journalist, someone who hails from Kashmir herself. Asha ji, thank you so much for joining the conversation. And we have with us on Skype from Srinagar, Jamil Shaheen. Jamil Shaheen is a businessman from Srinagar, and he's going to give us his perspective on the political scenario in the state. Asha ji, let me first ask you. Omar Abdullah has been, he has expressed strong anti-Modi sentiments, whereas the NC has been a part of both UPA as well as NDA, and PDP traditionally has gone with the Congress. Why is the PDP silent all of a sudden?
Well, you rightly said, Nilanjana. National Conference has been both with Congress as well as with BJP. They have partnered in the past. So in a way we can say that they actually have no qualms about joining either of the national groups, and if it serves their purpose eventually. But right now, Farooq Abdullah and his son Umar Abdullah are in the middle of a very tough election.
Right.
In a way it's tough for them because they know there is a groundswell of anger against their party, but for some reasons it doesn't get translated into election result, appropriate election result, because of the boycott ordered by the Hurriyat Conference, and the genuine fair voters have and they don't come out to vote as against overwhelming voting in rest of India. You know, the figures of voting are going up in rest of India,
right,
while in Kashmir it's not going up. We just saw 28% polling in the last round. Today also the figures may not be any different. So the National Conference understands that there is a problem for us. So they would love to polarize the situation further, create fears in the mind of people of Kashmir that, you know, if you don't choose us, then you are going to get into trouble. We are going to speak for you. If Modi comes and Kashmir is going to be in trouble, they want to create a fear psychosis so that their supporters come out and at least vote them into power again.
Okay.
I think that is a feeling, basic feeling.
Manzoor Sahab, let me ask you. Asha ji is saying that, you know, the whatever the Abdullahs are saying is basically to create a fear psychosis. Modi recently has said that secularism has taken its biggest hit in the state in the Abdullah regime.
If you take Jammu and Kashmir into consideration, its problems are a little bit different from the rest of the country.
Absolutely.
Naturally, if you see even these separatist leaders, they had not said anything against Modi recently. In fact, they are willing to negotiate with him if there is any positive solution, proposal on his part for the resolution of Jammu and Kashmir. If you see in Kashmir, people still talk about Atal Bihari Vajpayee. They say he had taken so many positive steps
Yes.
to resolve this issue. In fact, if you see this Muzaffarabad Srinagar road link, it was his initiative.
Right.
Then this ceasefire on borders that started from 2003, and it still holds, and it had given a lot of relief to people. Now the problem, as Asha has really said, it is basically political survival. He tries to create a fear psychosis among the people that if he comes, it may be bad for the people, just to generate sympathy.
All right.
But I think it will not have that much of impact as he is trying to highlight this issue.
All right, let me just get to Jameel Sahab over there. Jameel Sahab, as Asha ji was just saying, the boycott factor, the Hurriyat conference has, asked for a boycott of the polling. Now, a few days back, Gilani had said that emissaries, Modi had sent emissaries to him, a fact that was ultimately denied by all parties involved. How strong is the Hurriyat conference boycott call, and how is it really affecting the electoral process in Kashmir?
Actually, parliamentary elections hardly evoke any response from the common man. Because parliamentary elections are always a low-key affair, because people have this realization just 6 seats from the state do not matter at all. And in a Lok Sabha where you have more than around 550 members, so that way people are a little always slightly away, and you don't find much of the enthusiasm. Now, all the parties want to get their voters for voting. And national conference, if you see Farooq Abdullah talking about Modi, against Modi or communal forces, you have to go into the background, historical background. National conference is being accused of betrayal, and has been accused of betrayal since 1938, when they converted Muslim conference into national conference.
Right.
There was a group of hardliners who were always against them, and then it became such a strong and inherited hatred against National Congress that the people would just, instead of reciting last sermons, they would just tell people to hate this family because they have betrayed us in 1938. Because Sheikh Mahmudullah, he joined Gandhi and Nehru instead of Jinnah. Now, strange enough that these forces are getting support at the national level from other communal forces. So that is the problem of Farooqullah, trying to educate people that this is the problem, that communalism is bad for our country, bad for us. Because now of late, Farooqullah's relationships, marriages of his children have become the issue with the PDP and other parties. They are exploiting it. And these things can be exploited only if you have a strong communal feeling.
Okay, let me ask you, Manzoor Sahab, you've been observing the state very closely. How strong is the Modi factor in Kashmir really?
It has no impact at all.
Really?
Let me tell you at all. Maybe in Jammu
Yes.
region, there is definitely an impact, and I think BJP may do better in Jammu region, but in Valley it has no impact.
So the wave hasn't really gone beyond.
it is not.
I'll add to what Manzoor Saab is saying.
Yeah.
I think there is no impact of Modi in Jammu as well. You know reason why? Because 2008 Jammu and Kashmir had saw a very polarized world. You know, over Amarnath Yatra agitation. There were two parallel agitation, one in Kashmir, one in Jammu. The entire state had got polarized into two parts, along religious lines and along regional lines. So there can't be any bigger wave than that. That was a total polarization, and Jammu went the BJP way completely. There were assembly elections following that. Jammu went the BJP way. And but even if we presume there's a Modi wave, it can't be bigger than the wave they have already seen. So in that way, there is no Modi wave there. BJP is not expected to do much as good as they had done in that election. So Modi wave, I think, has halted somewhere on the border of Jammu and Kashmir and Punjab.
I can tell you one more thing. If you see the results after 16, you can get yourself, at least you will be able to know the impact of Modi wave, particularly in 3 seats in the Kashmir Valley. I don't think BJP will be able to save their deposit.
But don't you think that Kashmir has also been ignored in poll rhetoric? I mean, people are talking about corruption, people are talking about scams, people are talking about, being firm on terrorism. But Kashmir, the Kashmir issue per se has been missing from a lot of poll campaigns, don't
In
you
our
think?
democratic setup, here numbers matter.
Okay.
Kashmir has only 6 seats, as Mr. Jamil has said.
Yes.
It hardly matters for them. While as they are trying to focus in Uttar Pradesh and
Yes.
big states where the numbers are big and so want to get a maximum support from these states.
So Jamil Saab, do you agree? Do you think that Kashmir has been ignored really because it has only 6 seats? How are the people feeling about that?
As I put it last time also, if one has an SUV to ride, why should he ride a horse? So this time,
That's a good one.
Very nice. If he has an SUV to ride, why will he ride a horse? All right. You just said that there is not much of an impact, but Jammu and Kashmir goes to polls later this year, the assembly elections
Yes.
in Jammu and Kashmir, October this year.
Yes, yes.
What will the Modi factor, what kind of an effect will that have really?
It depends on outcome of results here. Definitely it will have impact at that time. Secondly, if BJP is in a position to form government at the center, naturally they may do better, at least in the Jammu region. I don't want to say anything about Kashmir. I don't think they will have any influence or pockets of influence there. But definitely in Jammu region they may do better. Because usually people always vote for the party which is in power.
All right.
And that too.
All right. Ashaji, let me ask you, have you been speaking to your friends in the PDP? What do they have to say? Why are they so, coming back to the original discussion,
Yes.
why are they so silent, and why has Mufti Muhammad really been praising Vajpayee? Why is that? What is their strategy?
Well, yes, I've been in touch with people from PDP as well as National Conference. The PDP's point is basically for them, they are hoping to win in only 2 seats. They don't have much ambitions for this election. That's the inside story of PDP. They think they are serious contenders for 2 seats only. And so this election is not that much important for them. But yes, they are using this election to prepare for the assembly election that are due somewhere in October, November. So their entire focus is on that. Mehbooba Mufti, the leader of PDP, very charismatic. She has been raising issues of which touch people's life, not the big national issues. She has been just using this electioneering to focus on local issues because she has an eye on the next elections where they are being considered favorite at this moment.
The anti-incumbency factor?
Yes, certainly. So they are hoping to cash in on that when the elections come. So PDP has been focusing on that. They don't want to get into this debate about Modi, anti-Modi, because they don't want to waste. But in their hearts of hearts, Jameel said a very beautiful thing, that National Conference is hated by the hardliners because they sided with not with communal forces, they sided with the idea of India, idea of secular India when
Right.
India was divided. And Kashmiris had to opt between domain of Pakistan and domain of India.
Right.
So those hardliners are angry against it. So essentially, from what Jameel
This
said,
anti-NC factor it's a traditional.
it is a traditional, sometimes this anti-traditional vote bank or the politics, it swells, its scales go up, its mass goes up, and sometimes it goes down. So if we analyze the whole Kashmir situation right now, the hardliners, that is Hurriyat and PDP, seem to be on the same platform when it comes to the question of Modi comes, and NC is opposed to that. So essentially, we are going back to those days, pro-India versus not so pro-India forces in Kashmir. It boils down to that. That is what I guess is happening in Kashmir.
All right. Jamil Sahab, your reading, the PDP factor, the silence of the PDP.
no, in fact, PDP has not been silent. Rather, Mahbooba Mufti, in her earlier speeches, she welcomed Modi's rise, and they showed their optimism about Modi. Basically, there is a common thing: is National Conference is a secular party. Their constituency at the national level are secular forces, Congress, Communists, and others. And PDP, on the other hand, they have to fall back on BJP only.
Right.
So actually, I think the right-wing people in Kashmir, they are happy with the right-wing people coming into power in the center because they feel they can vibe well, and they have always been saying that if the right-wing people come into power in center, they'll be able to sort out things with Pakistan. See, that has been the rhetoric of the extremists also in Kashmir, that we
Right.
want extremists.
Let me just take
Let me add one more thing
yeah,
to the
yeah, okay, yeah.
If you see, Mr. Modi made attack to the Abdullah family
Yes.
about their dynastic rule.
Yes,
He had
yes.
why the other party should say anything against that.
Okay.
They had not made about Kashmir issue or something like that. It was a personal attack on Abdullah's family that they perpetuated dynastic
We
rule
have
in the
seen
state.
new laws in polity this time. These
Dyn-
kind of personal attacks are all over.
so the other party is simply enjoying it. They will
Right,
not do
It helps them, yes.
Okay.
It is so it's good for them.
Ashaji was just talking about very strong rightist sentiment, being happy about the Modi factor. Now, a lot of people have said that, Modi could prove to be a very decisive leader when it comes to the peace process in Kashmir. What is your take on that?
See, actually, rightist strategy. Actually, people of Kashmir, they want relief.
Naturally.
Definitely, they
Absolutely.
want. They want something to be done to this issue so that this problem is permanently solved. In that context, if you see the past, Vajpayee ji had taken certain initiatives.
Yes.
It had paid to some extent. It had helped to some extent to resolve this issue. Now, unfortunately, on both sides at that time, things changed. It could not materialize. Now, this is some sort of they feel some sort of they desire to get things done immediately, whether it is Mr. Modi or from Congress, anybody who takes a decisive decision on this issue. Don't keep on prolonging this issue for years,
Decades.
then it becomes difficult. Moreover, people want peace, and peace can be only achieved through negotiations, through peace process. That is the best thing. That is even if you see, even hardliners are saying same thing, but maybe sometimes they are taking up some other.
Jamil, sir, let me ask you, this whole sentiment and this whole thought that Narendra Modi is a strong, decisive leader, do you think the people on the ground, the people, the normal residents of Kashmir, are they in a way welcoming him in their minds, and, are they waiting for the whole Kashmir peace process to go forward under his leadership?
Basically, I can't say about the whole Kashmiris how they think, but my analysis of the situation is that this is not in the hands of neither India nor Pakistan. The day Narendra Modi takes a serious step about resolving Kashmir issue or having closer relations with Pakistan, next day he will lose his government. That's the history since 1947. When Gandhiji wanted, he lost his life. Nehruji, when he tried to settle Kashmir issue, he lost his life. Shastri ji, he lost his life in Tashkent when he was trying to settle issues. And Mr. Chandrasekhar repeated the same thing when he was Prime Minister. He said 3 leaders we lost when they tried to Kashmir issue. Then they tried to settle Kashmir issue.
Are you saying the issue can never be resolved?
Yeah, because it's not in your hands. It's neither in the hands of India nor Pakistan. We are just, basically this is a post-Second World War arrangement laid down by colonial powers. It was not only India which got divided. So many parts in the world got divided. So Kashmir was just an issue, like you have so many issues in other countries also. Wherever there were divisions, there were issues, and you are getting browbeaten. But see how others are just exploiting Kashmir issue, be fooling India, both India and Pakistan. One foreign dignitary would come to India and say, no, India and Pakistan should settle this issue bilaterally. Then goes to Pakistan, and there he says, no, they should go by UN resolution. They are befooling us, and we are getting befooled. So it's not in the hands of Modi or Musharraf or anybody else. This is you have a wider experience. If they want a resolution, we have to rise to that level where we can influence international communities, where we can influence decision making at the international level.
All right. Asha ji, you were saying
Yeah,
something.
yeah, but I really don't agree with he sounds very pessimistic about resolution of Kashmir. But I think a lot of progress has been made in last 1 decade on Kashmir on two fronts. One is, when you talk of Kashmir, we have to solve it on two fronts. One is India's relationship with Pakistan. So there have been substantial progress on that front, despite Pakistan not having done as much as could have done on containing anti-India terrorism on its soil. Things have moved, on that front also. We have today buses going from one end of Kashmir to another end of Kashmir.
Yes.
A lot of things are happening between India and Pakistan. Track to diplomacy did well for some time. Now the pace of peace process may not be very fast, but nevertheless it's not dead completely.
Can we talk about go ahead.
The other part I was discussing is about solving problem in Kashmir on ground zero, and the path of that the government of India has taken is to bring in lot of development, to do lot of pro-people programs. So I think both these processes are intact and going on at a not very fast pace, but some progress has been made. I am not as pessimistic as Jameel is.
All right, Manzoor Sahab, let me ask you. Let's bring in the Congress now. Let's not ignore the Congress altogether. PCC Chief Saifuddin Soos has said that Kashmir will be fighting its last battle if Modi comes to power. Please, what exactly is he saying?
I don't know what he wants to convey to the people or what he means by that.
Yeah.
See, basically you have to see what developments have taken place in the last 1 decade. Even in Pakistan's approach, there has been 180-degree turn. Now Pakistan earlier used to harp on UN resolutions and other things. Now they have reached to this thing. In fact, if you see the Musharraf formula, it is a self-rule formula. Even I was recently in Pakistan last year, Nawaz Sharif, he said, we want to resolve this issue, but through peaceful means. Their priorities have also changed after emergence of terrorism in that country. They also want a peaceful solution to the problem. Now, if you see, South Asia has remained a troubled area. Developments in Afghanistan and other parts, they have definitely. We have to deal, whether it is Modi, whether it is Congress, whether it is Third Front, people are going to deal with these parties. We have done it in the past and we are going to do it in future also. Whether it is Modi, whether it is Rahul Gandhi or somebody else from Third Front, if there is there, we have to deal them, we have to negotiate with them to find a reasonable, amicable solution to the problem of Jammu and Kashmir, which is to the satisfaction of Government of India, people of Jammu and Kashmir as well as Pakistan.
All right, let me quickly remind our viewers that please join in the conversation at www.indiapostlive.com and send us your tweets, hashtag IndiaPostLive. I'm waiting for your tweets and I'm waiting for your comments on this very interesting issue. Asha ji, you just said that only 6 seats, low turnout. Let's talk of the low turnout factor. The people really are not that enthused or that inspired to come out and vote. What does a low turnout really mean for the state in terms of the prospects of PDP and NC?
Well, Nilanjala, I'll tell you very frankly, I was talking to an NC leader from JNK in the morning, fairly senior leader, a minister in the government. So I asked him, what is happening today? Today the polling is on in Srinagar constituency where National Conference Chief Farooq Abdullah is fighting. So he told me very frankly that, it depends. If voting is heavy, in our areas, that is Ganderbal and Kangan areas, then we are winning. But if city people turn out to vote, then we are doomed. So what he was telling me that city people should not come out and vote, they should heed to the advice of Hurriyat Conference and boycott the election. Then we are winning. So this is the politics of boycott of elections in Kashmir. So this extremist forces, the Hurriyat Conference is in a way helping National Conference to win Srinagar seat, if what the National Conference leader told me is true.
Right.
I'm sure that's true.
Let me get the last comments from Jameel Sahab. The ground situation, give us a little idea about that and respond to what Asha ji has just said, please.
Question is, Farooq Abdullah has never lost any election and it's very difficult to dislodge him. Almost impossible. So you be sure about that. Whether there is boycott or no boycott, in my opinion, it's not that easy to defeat him.
Yes, he has never lost an election.
He has never
But his
lost.
son has lost the election.
Yes, his son has lost an election.
And he was clever enough not to contest at that time.
Even he won this Sonwar seat by 44 votes.
All right.
That's right. I agree with you. But the thing is that he has never lost an election so far. And but at the same time, nothing can be said with finality. Ultimately, the voter decides, and ultimately, my belief is in a democracy. It's ultimately people who win. This is
Right.
the victory of people. Nobody loses, nobody wins. So ultimately, it's the democracy which wins. So
Ultimately, it's democracy that wins. Jamil Shahin, thank you so much for your last comments. Let me ask Manzoor sir, your last analysis, the overall overview of
See,
Kashmir.
actually, if you see particularly in this city, there had been boycott for the last 10, 15 years. Voting percentage in the city is much less as compared to villages. That had happened in last election, before that
Yes.
elections also.
Yes.
Even if you compare it with the Anantnag, let us get the result. In the evening, you would be able to get the percentage of
course,
it would be much lesser than Anantnag, because people from particularly 8 seats of the city, their voting percentage will be negligible. In a way, that's going to help the ruling party. Definitely, it is going to help, because they are committed workers. They are the ones who will come out and exercise their franchise. While as others, those who have no interest, as Mr. Jamil, there are so many people, they say it's not going to help us in any way. Why to exercise our franchise vote? They may not show interest. Already there is a call for hartal. Today they are observing, there are no suku, everything is closed today.
Yes.
Naturally, nobody would like to risk his life.
All right. Asha ji?
Yes, what Manzoor Saab said is correct. People,
That is,
it's not that people,
both of them are not painting a very bright picture of the state, unfortunately.
Lanjana, it's true,
No. I am saying, see, basically, only in, now if you see in the rural areas, voting percentage has always been very good. Last election you see it was 35, even 40%, except in city.
No, because we seem to be seeing, if in the overall national perspective, a very interesting election. I mean, the whole Modi, in fact, people are calling it a Modi tsunami, not even a Modi wave. You have that, then you have these, the polity stooping to such low levels in terms of personal attacks, in terms of, the country going doomed and all of that. But Kashmir somehow, Asha ji, I'll take your final comments on that. Kashmir somehow is disinterested. I will not say uninterested, but disinterested.
No, the factors there are much different than the factors.
Of course,
in rest
Kashmir is different from the rest of the country.
Yeah,
but
yeah. They are. You see, last round we saw a lot of violence. You should remember 3 sarpanches have been killed. There have been violence. The polling stations were attacked. We lost 2 teachers,
leading to
brilliant
a higher
teachers.
anti-NC sentiment. Is
Not necessarily, not necessarily anti-NC sentiments, but it created more fear.
Because there is also the fact that Farooq Abdullah, I know Jamil Shaheen has said that it's very difficult to dislodge him, but perhaps he should not be as secure this time around. This is what I've been hearing from.
Yes, he should not be if the voting is genuine, if an overwhelming number of people come out and vote. But the problem is that city people are not going to turn out. It will be some of the booths. I remember not a single soul will come to vote. 2-3 people will come very quietly, hiding their faces, and they'll come and vote. But the polling has already started in Kangan and all that. I was checking on the internet.
They are strongholds.
They are coming. They are strongholds of National Conference.
Okay.
Even Congress, Kangan and all, Congress strongholds.
People are coming out to vote.
People are coming out.
Right.
So we are presuming they'll vote in favor of Farooq Abdullah, Jamil's leader
right.
Farooq Abdullah,
Right.
unless the PDP has made inroads into the traditional bastions of the National Conference.
That we'll know, of course, on the 16th. All right, thank you so much. All 3 of you, that's all we have time for. As Jamil Shaheen ji said, ultimately democracy is the winner, and democracy should be the winner end of the day. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Manzoor sir. Thank you so much, Asha ji. Carry on the conversation at indiapostlive.com. Please write in your comments. Please tweet us at #IndiaPostLive. And thanks all of you for joining us on this conversation. Thank you.